some quick, give you the gist, if you will, on a couple of things happening in pop culture, bubbling in pop culture. First, of course, this Sunday is the Super Bowl. So I know that some of y'all sports fans are this is your high holy holiday. I'm not with you in that. And I feel like that's okay. We can be divided in that place. I'm okay with you loving sports, but that is not my sports. My Housewives, those are my sports. A reunion episode, that is my Super Bowl. So just so that we're grounded in that, but what I am looking forward to is, of course, Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime show. We've been talking about it on the podcast. It's one of my most anticipated things of the year because I also am expecting that Riri is going to deliver something at the end of the performance, which is going to be an announcement of either one, a tour, which I have predicted several times now on this podcast, if you've been listening, and two, maybe even more music. There is rumors that because Apple is sponsoring the halftime show, that they're actually setting it up that she might live drop a new album at the end of the performance. Okay, so now that I'm shaking physically because I can't wait, we can my anticipation is up for Rihanna. So very excited about that. Plus, I do like some Super Bowl commercials. Back in the day, watching the Super Bowl was like an event because you saw all of the commercials for the first time. Of course, there's the epic Britney Pepsi commercials that I still to this day watch on YouTube, especially on a late Saturday night. I might even know some of the dances. But yeah, so there's these epic commercials. I think the downside is that now with the, internet and everything, everybody kind of getting all of their entertainment news ahead of time, the commercials always get leaked. And so there's not really a reason to tune into the commercials during the Super Bowl, which for me just means that I only tune in for the halftime show. But there is one commercial coming this year that I'm very excited about because it has the stars from Clueless, my favorite movie of all time. They're reuniting for a Super Bowl commercial, Alicia Silverstone and Elisa Donovan, who is also one of the most underrated legends that she was in 90210, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She is so good in Clueless and plays, of course, Amber, an iconic character. So they are revisiting or recreating their famous debate scene for a Super Bowl commercial. And so I am so excited about that. So yeah, Super Bowl this weekend. I'm sure we'll have some thoughts next week on Rihanna. Hopefully we'll have lots to talk about. Maybe her tour, maybe her album. Maybe we'll be deep diving on the Rihanna album this time next week. Guys, can you imagine? So exciting about that. Also happening in pop culture, another blast from the past. I Know What You Did Last Summer is rebooting their film franchise. And Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are signed on for the new sequel. So that coming off of the Scream success of bringing those movies back, they are doing it again now with I Know What You Did Last Summer. And that first movie, I grew up loving these slasher movies. I thought that Scream was definitely the best of the series, Scream was definitely the best of all of those kind of slasher films from that era. But I mean, there is no better cast that represents the 90s than Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Ryan Philippe, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Can you imagine? So unfortunately, two of those people are not coming back because if you saw the film, you would understand why. But Freddie Prinze and Jennifer Love Hewitt are making a return to the franchise, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Also, we mentioned the Britney Pepsi commercials, so I will say that another Another big headline this week, or another thing people are talking about, is Britney posted a video on her Instagram of her singing Oops, I Did It Again, her iconic hit, uh, live on her Instagram. And the video was just of like the ceiling or something while she was singing. But yeah, she mentioned in the caption that she recorded it while she was, or actually it was a caption of another thing that she posted later, where she said, oops, I didn't mean to actually post that. That was a video that I had taken when I was in the studio. And that has fans going wild because this seems to be that Britney has confirmed that she is in the studio, maybe working on new music. And so, of course, lots of thoughts coming out of that. As I mentioned on a previous episode, I'm not ready to talk about Britney because she is my ultimate and she is my number one and she has been through it. So I still can't bring myself to record the Britney episode that we need for the gist, but it will come. It will come, maybe around some kind of like new release. But there's a lot to dive in on. But people are very excited at just the thought of Britney being back in the studio and potentially delivering more music. And of course, I'm one of those people, so had to mention it here. But other than that, let's leave Britney alone. Let's let Britney kind of like figure out what she wants to be, who she wants to be in a post-conservator life. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. But also an update on the Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip drama came out this week. So last week we talked about it a little bit. We knew that Brandi Glanville and Caroline Manzo had exited Morocco early from filming the season 4 of the Ultimate Girls Trip franchise. And there were a lot of rumors and speculation that there was an altercation. Then it turned to potentially some kind of like sexual assault. Well, it has now been confirmed by Peacock, the channel that we are going to, or the, I guess, streaming platform that is going to deliver it to us. Who knows when? But when they do, they released a statement that Brandi did in fact touch Caroline's breast and vaginal area, which is what led to her departure, and that Caroline chose to leave on her own accord. And then now an investigation is going. So it's not looking good for Brandi. I don't think that she is going to be back on our Bravo screens anytime soon. I am a little interested because she did so good on Traitors and she showed up so well on that series, and they just announced that it's getting a season 2, which I don't think made sense for them to bring Brandi back to that anyways. She's already done it and played the game, but they are filming a reunion on the 28th of February. And so I think, are they allowing Brandi to film that? I think they have to. She was such a big part of the season. But I don't know. I have a feeling that Peacock, if they're, facing some sexual assault allegations, because that is what it is, despite, Brandi's, antics on some of the other series and some of her previous history with maybe taking things a little too far with some of the women, if no means no, and if Caroline did not welcome that, it is sexual assault. And so, it's unfortunate to say the least for her, because I also think she was potentially going to be back in some capacity on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills new season, which also kicked off filming this week. We've already seen Dorit out and about with the camera crews. So looks like Dorit is back in some capacity. Rumors are flying that maybe she won't be back full time, but who knows? Maybe she'll bring something new to the table that will give her that full-time status. But I don't think that we're going to see a Brandi Glanville return. And as I said last week, I also don't know that Caroline's going to return to New Jersey, which was the rumor, in a future season, because she may have just about had it. So that's the update there. I don't think we're going to hear much more about it other than let it play out on the show whenever Peacock decides to deliver season 3, and then again to season 4. So that's happening. Quick kind of like run of the mill on what's happening on the Real Housewives.